now times are different and that they get to be alive for the first female president of the United States.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. Slay.
The majority of women in America voted for Trump.
Because my question is, why is y'all still trying to have babies with these men?
80% of black men voted for Kamala Harris.
Collective black people are voting the same.
But I want the men in this country to know that half the female population, we're dry.
And in public, you're still clarting, you're still having kids, you're still getting married.
I can't believe this country did this again.
Hey guys, welcome back to More to Life. Now, before I get into this video, I ask that you like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get all my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get right into this.
I was hoping this morning would be different. These are my two daughters, Florence and Phoenix, and I specifically waited until after their swim lessons so they could come vote with me because I was hoping it would be an experience that they would want to remember. I was hoping this morning that I could tell my girls that character mattered. I was hoping I could tell them that in this long women's history where we had to put up with men in power and that they could get in trouble with the law and they could essay and they could do whatever they wanted, but that now times are different and that they get to be alive for the first female president of the United States. I was hoping that I could tell them that story, and that's not the story that I could tell them this morning. And I am not immune to concerns about the economy. I have to work. I have 4 children in this economy. It's very hard. It's also very hard when I'm trying to hold on to my own integrity, because there are times where I rack my brain at night thinking that if I just did this or that, if I just sold out in some way, I could make so much money like that. But because I try to hold on to...
You gotta understand something. I don't think a lot of people are understanding something. The better candidate won. What I mean by that is, like, they asked a question: how are you going to turn around the debt crisis? When I seen Donald Trump answer, he had a clear answer. When I seen Kamala Harris answer, she didn't have a clear answer. That's a main reason why she lost. But let me finish, because she's using her black daughters. It's wild. They're stooping to new lows.
My integrity, I don't make as much money as others who make very big promises and very big magical promises in the world of spirituality. I don't do that, so I make less money. It's hard. I'm not going to lie about that. But the thing is, when I asked my family, who's voting for Trump for economic reasons, to tell me one clip, give me one clip where you feel like Donald Trump is talking intelligently about any policy, foreign or domestic. Send me a clip where he is talking really intelligently about some aspect of how he's going to improve the economy. They can't. It was never about the economy. It was about fear. It wasn't about abortion. It wasn't about the economy. It wasn't about any of that. It was about fear. And what humans do, and I know this from my work, both in, as a history teacher and also someone who has studied religion, because we see it with children, we see it with adults, we see it in religion, we see it in politics, we see it in history, we see it everywhere. If you feel scared, if you feel threatened, if you're feeling fear, you want to give your lunch money to the biggest bully in the playground so that you feel like the bully is on your side. And that actually gives us a sense of safety. I was hoping to tell my daughters a different story this morning. But the story, this chapter, is that we're afraid and we're fearful. And what we do with that fear is turn off all of our morality, turn off our common sense, turn off all of our talk about what American values are and family values.
I had a lot of misplaced anger last night, but I said the ones specifically that voted for Trump. I wasn't talking about all black men. So the fact that so many black men rushed to my comments to call me a mammy and talk bad about me, I'm like, whoa, did you vote for Trump, or what are you offended about? But I do want to apologize to the black men that I did offend, because I did not mean to do that. I promise to God I did. But I am still disappointed in all the black people that voted for Trump. And all the black people that decided to not vote, y'all are weird.
Now, when it comes to black men that voted for Trump, I saw the numbers. It was like 79% black women and 73% black men. Black men were hand in hand, pretty much holding hands with the woman. Not holding hands because they probably didn't know, but they voted that side. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, what happened is Trump's side was a majority. And a wild thing, it was majority white woman that voted for Trump. So I see a lot of white women that are talking this way. Don't take it up with anyone. So like the last woman that said, people are scared. Take it up with a white woman. If you feel that he's a big bully in the playground, take it up with them. That's it. That's who you need to blame. Them.
I just texted my best friend. My best friend of 14 years. Literally half of my life. I'm 28. And I asked them who they voted for. They said Donald Trump. And they said, I'm assuming you voted the opposite. And I said, yes. And then my friend texted me and said, will you still be my friend? Half of my life, this person is my best friend.
Wow. This is wild. But guys, I remember when I was sold a lot and I got like this when Barack Obama was running. How old was I? I was in my younger 20s. He ran a while ago. And I'm all with the, a black man is going to be president. I was hopeful. He won. I was happy. Had to have been for 10 minutes. And then I had a sudden realization. I said, oh, wait a minute. They're both doing the same thing. They play them against each other. The red side, the blue side, like the Crips and Bloods. And I said, he's going to be doing the same thing that the other president would have did anyway. The same laws would be passed. Things will end up, the country would have the same turmoil leading towards the future. And then I was happy for a little while longer. Wasn't happy because I realized I've been fooled. More people realize too, and maybe they stop caring as much.
Hi, my fellow white women. As we have conversations about cutting off men who vote against your human rights, I need you to start applying that mindset to the women in your life as well. Because the amount of white women who voted for Trump is absolutely disgusting. I know it's so easy to go like, oh, but they're my girlie, they're my bestie, I can't ever cut them off. This is just a little difference of opinion. No. If you stand for the things you claim to stand for, if you have the morals that you should, you cannot have that person in your life. Best case scenario, they're just very uneducated. And if that's the case, you need to point out to their face that they are uneducated and doing a horrible thing. Because you don't get a pass for supporting Trump just because you're a woman. You don't get a pass for supporting Trump just because you're any minority group or any oppressed group. Because yes, while it will eventually come back to bite them, it's biting the rest of us at the same time. And while we're at it, start calling out people who claim, like, I'm just not political, I just don't get involved with politics. Because, like, if you're a grown-ass adult and you're like, politics are scary, I just can't think about it, that is concerning. Being neutral in the face of oppression and fascism makes you on the side of the bad guys. So, no, we're not dealing with those people anymore. We're not accepting that as okay.
This is wild. Like, this is how I take it. And I understood when they posted this. I said, wow, that's exactly what's happening right now. Take a look at this.
They don't deserve to touch a woman for the next 4 years. But we got that doing, guys. I personally think that if all of these men are voting to take our rights away, they don't deserve to touch a woman for the next 4 years. But we got that doing, guys. I personally think that if all of these men are voting to take our rights away, they don't deserve to touch a woman for the next 4 years.
This is exactly how it is. It pulls on your emotions. I'm sorry. I guess I see things too black and white. I can't get like this over somebody losing or winning an election. A lot of people may not agree with me, but I see it the way I see it. I will not fall victim to it.
Yo, I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a motherfucking slave. Y'all, like, why are y'all Trump supporters? Like, why?
This is a fraud.
Why are y'all Trump supporters? Like, why is this a thing right now? Why is this okay? I can't do this no more. I should have kept my vote to myself because I knew it didn't matter. I knew it didn't.
This right here, it's disgusting. It is, guys. I gotta be real with you guys. All right, me, I don't live there anymore. I haven't lived in the U.S. for 10 years, so I'm watching all of this from the sidelines. I can't vote because I wasn't there to vote. I'm out here chilling, not sipping a pina colada because I don't drink no more, but maybe a virgin pina colada. I'll still drink that. They're mighty tasty. I'll still drink the mix that they make with strawberry daiquiri. They're pretty tasty. Maybe I'll drink the virgin one. I'm over here chilling. I could care less what happens over there. Why? I'm not affected. Anything goes on, say if that does happen. Say if they were making people slaves in the U.S., right? Am I being affected? No, I don't think so. I'm free. I'm outside. That's exactly why. I didn't want to be bothered with that anymore. I didn't want to be bothered with politics of the country. I didn't want to be affected by who's made president. I could care less. I can't get like this. After what happened, what I told you before, I didn't want to end up in this position.
Hey, remember the man versus bear debate and how in that whole fiasco, somebody got the bright idea to ask black women, white man or white woman, and all of these white women who were shocked, their flabbers absolutely gasted at the fact that black women turned around and unanimously all said, white man. These people were shocked and they were like, well, you're a woman. Why is it that you're siding with the men? Then black women brought up the consistency of white men and how with white men, they'll just tell you, oh, I don't find black women to be attractive. Oh, black women too masculine for me. Black women too fake. They too artificial. Meanwhile, a white woman will pretend to give a you. A white woman will pretend to be your friend. 14% increase from 2020, by the way. 14% increase. White women will always sell out every other demographic beneath them because they are going to be number two and they know this. And they know that, yes, this may be above them up here, but they are above everybody else.
I just want to say that I know that there are a lot of people out there who are disappointed. There are millions of you, especially on this app, who are disappointed. You are crying, you are revolting, you're shaving your heads, you're swearing off men, you're very upset. And listen, I'm not here to shame you or attack you because I've been there. We were all there in 2020. We know how it feels to have your candidate not win when you feel like it is such a consequential time. But I just want to say that all differences aside, and I know that I have a lot of differences from the people that are making those crying videos, I just want to say that the majority of Americans voted for a man who they believe will do the best job. They voted for a positive, hopeful, resilient view of America. They voted for the man that wants to empower families. They voted for the man that wants to lower prices and make living more affordable for us. They voted for the man who wants to make it possible for Gen Z to be able to buy homes. They voted for the man that is promising us peace overseas. And I know that you guys have a lot of issues that you feel like are not represented in that campaign. And I just want to reiterate once again, Trump has said that he will not sign a federal abortion ban. Trump was the first president to initiate a global campaign to decriminalize homosexuality. I'm just saying it might not be as bad as you think. But all that to say, I know you're upset. We've all been there. But I genuinely hope that you will get excited and come along with us. Maybe not now, but maybe when you see the result of all of this, of these amazing people that are surrounding Donald Trump, of this new government. I don't know. I'm excited, and I hope one day you'll be able to be too.
Did not. I don't know why you suggested that. But good try, good try.
It is so funny to me that there are so many men on here that are making videos, that are texting their girlfriends, and they're saying, I'm so sorry that the men of this country did this to you. Like, I'm sorry, did we just brush over the fact that women, the majority of women in America, voted for Trump? So no, it was not just men or the evil patriarchy that did this to you. It was your friends, your girlfriends, your aunts, your sisters, your moms, women who are concerned about the direction that this country is going in. Women that don't want to worry about grocery prices anymore. Women who want to be able to buy their kids food without worrying what they're being poisoned by. Women that are tired of being gaslit and pressured by Big Pharma. Women that are tired of worrying about war overseas, wondering if their loved ones will end up being deployed or even worse, drafted. Those are the women that carried this election.
Yes, woman did it, and blame woman, right? No more targeting men. Like a lot of black women too have targeted black men. I think those women should apologize. Seriously, they need to give black men a great apology because it's not our fault. Mostly white women did this to you. It was your white counterparts, right? Feminism didn't win in the end. Conservative mindsets won. And I kind of get it because most men are on that side, but not black men for some reason. Black men are still playing to the black woman. Black men are still supporting black women. They are, even with the way they're voting. You see it? The proof is in the pudding.
Now that I'm done crying, let's talk about the 4B movement and it's slowly implementing its way to the United States because after last night's results, I think it's time we kick it into overdrive. Now, if you're not familiar with the 4B movement, it's a movement that began in 2019 in South Korea. Now, the proponents of that movement refuse to date men, get married, have sex with them, or children. There are 4 tenets of the 4B movement. Again, no sex, no birth, no dating men, no marriage to men. Now, the reason why that is significant is because of 2 things. One, women are talking about bringing that 4B movement right here to the United States after last night's recent events. And 2, that 4B movement in South Korea has such a staunch impact on the entire nation. They literally don't have first or second graders coming into school. Shout out to Anna Louise Sussman, who wrote this article for the Free Press. And in this article, she talks about how South Korea is running out of kids. Quite literally, running out of kids. You're probably thinking, who cares if they're not having kids? Well, the government cares. The government cares that they're not having kids because children are the future labor force. And without kids, you don't got a republic. Think about that for a second. Now, in Anna's article, she talks about how the education ministry in South Korea plans to reduce the number of teacher training places, citing the precipitous decline in students, which is so goddamn extreme that in March of this year, they had closed over 150 schools. Think about that for a second. A movement which only began in 2019, by 2024 had seen over 150 schools closing. And in the next decade in South Korea, we'll begin to see the effects in the labor force because if 150 parochial schools starting from first grade and on are closing, imagine how many middle schools are going to close. Imagine how many high schools and universities in South Korea that will close because there are no children. Now take a step back and think about the impact on the economy in South Korea. It's not looking good for the government there. And you're probably wondering, well, can we do that here in America? We definitely can. We already have a sharp decline in labor against women here in the United States. And on top of that, we just implemented the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And on top of that, child immortality rates have skyrocketed. I don't know, friend. I feel like the 4B movement here in the United States had already kicked off. It already kicked off when we saw the declining in child births back when we had conducted the census in 2020. But now that I really think about it again, we need to kick that into overdrive. Because my question is, why is y'all still trying to have babies with these men?
You can't make this shit up.
Why? It's a quick question. I know some of y'all want to be mothers. I get that. Rah, 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 baby, baby, baby. But why are y'all still, y'all can have kids without these men. You can. You can do that. Because everything we figured out last night about this election should tell you everything that you need to know about the future of America. Because why exactly are you going to keep becoming subservient to a nation that doesn't literally care about you? I don't know about y'all, but this sounds like an awesome plan to me.
It's not men's fault. Like, this is the crazy thing. But you really think women are going to be that disciplined, right? I don't think so. But she thinks so. She's delusional. This is not South Korea. It's not Japan. And those women very well still want to date and they've been dating. I've already showed how that 4B movement is not happening out there the way they think. But still, anyway, you think women here are going to be that disciplined to keep their legs closed? They open their legs every chance they get. Look, I can show you video after video after video. You guys have seen it. A woman saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm cheating. Do you think sometimes do you think all those women are being responsible cheaters? I know it's nasty, but that's how they're being. They're going raw a lot of times. Don't you know the mistakes? And a lot of those women would keep the guys. Maybe they'll make the mistake purposely and it'll be a guy they want to have a baby with. It's not gonna happen. It's proven to all of us that's not gonna happen. What you're saying is not gonna work.
80% of black men voted for Kamala Harris. 80%. And that is on the lower end of the percentages. In some battleground state, they were 85, 86%. They outperformed every male demographic. They outperformed white men. They outperformed Asian men. They outperformed Hispanic, Latino men. They even outperformed other. And I just want to say black men showed up when it mattered. We see all this discourse, all this 50-50, black men aren't providers, black men aren't this, black men aren't that, but black men showed up when it mattered in those voting booths. They went out there in droves and cast the right vote. They went out there and did their best to protect the rights of black women, of all women, but black women everywhere. They did it. And I want everybody to shut the F up about black men for the rest of the year.
Yes. Shut up and apologize. Seriously, it's about due. It's about time black guys are apologized to. This woman's talking about 4B movement, and you would have to do it to white guys. Like she's trying to push the racists. Like most white men don't want black women. That's how she's talking like. That's who you have to do it to. She's talking about doing that to black men when black men were showing up in droves to the voting booths, voting for Kamala. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Not gonna lie, I'm not interested in the black woman versus black man debate because I don't think it's either of our fault. This is from PewResearch.org. We, as a collective, black people are voting the same. Yes, it was a lot of crazy rhetoric from black men. Yes, and some crazy talking from black women. I'm not gonna lie, on both sides. According to the polls, though, the age range, we pretty much on par with voting the same. I want people to know that black people do not make up the majority. Not only do we not make up the majority, it's very easy for us to get outnumbered if the intersection of our community meets at LGBT and they stray away. Meets at wanting interracial relationships and they stray away. Wanting abortion rights and non-abortion rights. We would stray away. Collectively, though, we vote on the same chord. Not here for the versus gender debate in the black community. We as a whole are voting well. We as a black community got the problem with the other minorities. Please, let's get on that topic. Not here for that topic today. Us, black people versus other minorities. We need to show why we're ahead, and truth be told, we need to show why we're native to this land and they're not. Keep it a buck with you. Keep it a bang with you.
I know I'm from the UK, but I have one thing to say about the US election. All right, so I know that Kamala Harris hasn't conceded yet, but it's looking very, very likely that Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States. Fine. Given the demographic I belong to, you can already imagine my opinions on that. But I do want to discuss Americans and British people saying that we should start the 4B movement here. Just in case you don't know what that is, the 4B movement is South Korean women saying that they're not going to have sex with men, they're not going to date men, they're not going to have kids with men, they're not going to get married to men. But I'm scratching my head because I'm thinking, after this election result, why do US women think that that's going to happen for them? Especially given the voting statistics that Latino and white women, like the way they voted in this, like, sorry, what? Now, I've seen a couple articles about the UK's declining birth rate and things like that. And then that started a conversation about how having a child as a working woman in the UK is difficult, especially if you're a single woman due to like our salaries, the price of childcare, all of that stuff. I just feel like it's unlikely for women in the US and the UK to do it because we don't show solidarity in the smaller scale things to be able to carry off a movement like this. Someone posts online, my baby dad's a deadbeat, he's at DLT Malta, what the people are like, oh my God, what's his number, what's his snap, oh my God, where is he, like, da-da-da. And it's not, some people are joking, but a lot of people aren't joking. Now, it's not to say I'm well versed on the climate of like South Korean women and I know what they're like, but from what I've seen online with the US and the UK girls, like, there's a lot of birdery going on. People will knowingly abusers, deadbeats, I don't know if I can say that word, but rapists, all of that stuff. And you're trying to tell me that you won't date, marry, or have kids, or have sex with them. for this movement, but you're voting in elections where abortion and all these things are going to be criminalized for what? Like, let's just get real. No way. Just as I made this video, I've just seen that Kamala Harris has conceded. This is actually really sad. But I feel like the same way white women online have said they're going to vote this way, and then the stats that we're seeing on our TV, or at least online, whatever, aren't backing it. I can imagine if it comes to us trying to do this movement, women would outwardly be like, yeah, I'm not doing that, da 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 da. And in public, you're still clarting, you're still having kids, you're still getting married.
Don't you agree, Mr. Feather?
Word.
Still doing this and that. So yeah.
To be honest, I'm really not surprised at all by the election results, because the left plays way too much into identity politics, and now more than ever, this is not the time for that. Really, it's really not the time. I mean, I think they should have focused more on what they were going to do for the economy, because, you know, what I noticed throughout the campaign is that they talk about stats, right? They talk about how, you know, the market is up, but when people are going to the grocery store and they're paying $10 for eggs and $20 for milk, people don't care what the stats look like. People care about what they are experiencing firsthand. And using celebrities, I know both sides were doing that pretty much, but that is the most ridiculous campaigning marketing strategy you could ever use. I do think that Trump's, obviously the podcast stuff that he did in the last stretch, I think that also helped push him over. Say what you will about podcasters, but clearly that had a large effect on the way people voted, because people felt like that showed some of his personality and, you know, whatever. So the other thing that is a hilarious talking point to me is people saying that immigrants would vote blue. Democrats could give immigrants $10,000, a house, a car, a jet. Morally, and in terms of their values, I can tell you right now, immigrants, especially with the countries that they're coming from, are conservative, right? So no amount of gifting that they would get or receive would push them to even vote for the stuff that the Democrats campaign about. Now, when you look at Kamala's policies on paper, in comparison to Trump, I do think that she does support the middle class more. And, you know, obviously there are some other things that are very stark differences between Kamala and Trump. But at the same time, I feel like Trump's communication and marketing was more effective. The stuff that he was talking about is what people wanted to hear. Now, Kamala's plan outlined a lot of the stuff that he was saying, but she wasn't campaigning that. She was campaigning the identity politics, you know, and trying to pander to people. And that stuff never works. In fact, it pushes people away. You know, it's just like, when will the Democrats learn this?
Not that my content reaches a lot of men because I have an IQ of 130, but I want the men in this country to know that half the female population, we're dry. We're probably going to stay dry.
We do not care.
I'm dry as a desert, baby, and I don't want it to change. Yeah, we're not gonna like you anymore.
That sounds like being single.
You understand that? Like, it doesn't matter if you take away abortion. Like, we'll want to have your babies even less, right? Even if you take away contraception, like, women are really good at celibacy because you guys are actually a threat to us. So we have a lot less to gain from you. So yeah, 4B all the way. Let's make some money, I guess. That's all we can do now.
I was just walking down the street to go get my medication because I'm out and I need it for today. And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids and she had the on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, and we both kind of nodded. Like we were both just devastated, and you could just tell in her eyes. I can't believe this country did this again. Why did I let myself have hope?
Man, meltdowns is crazy. It's crazy. It needs to stop.